Earlier you were saying that Moulin à Vin might be the king of Beaujolais. I would say that Morgon is the queen of Beaujolais. This is a benchmark for production of naturally made Beaujolais. One of the things that I find so beautiful about almost all the vintages that I've had of Lapierre is the supple texture, the way that it lies on the palate, and the acidity and the finish that makes you just want to go back to the glass and drink some more. I've lost count the amount of magnums and jeroboams of Lapierre that I have been around in parties that are finished before 750s of other wines. There's purity of fruit, there's a lift, there's an absolute transparency to this wine just in terms of flavor and place that I think keeps people going back to the glass.
And would you say this is more Burgundian than the Dutrève, for instance? And does that make it less authentic?
That is a tricky question in terms of Lapierre and this style of winemaking. It is unequivocal that it is associated with Cru Beaujolais. Yes, you might throw out the idea of this being more Burgundian than maybe some of other wines made in the neighborhood, but I think that many people might sniff this wine and say, this is Lapierre Morgon because it's so distinct.
So is there anything surprising in this glass of wine to you? Because that's the thing about the Dutrève, is the flavors are surprising, the aromatics are surprising. This seems less surprising and more expected.
Yes, I agree with you. However, sometimes I want to listen to that song that I love over and over because I just can't wait for the bridge to come so I can sing along to the chorus. This is one of those wines that I go back to over and over because I can't wait for that joy and just easy drinking comfort that comes along with it.
And this, to me, seems more Burgundian in terms of what I look for in good red Burgundy. More familiarity, more comfort than I did in the Dutrève, where I'm going like, what is that? Ultimately, a great wine needs to be both surprising and inevitable because you don't want so much surprise and then it turns out not to be the thing you thought it was. As winemakers, it's a very difficult road to travel, which is to try to keep people on their toes, but at the end of the day, give them the ending that they expect. Everybody wants to know where they're going, but don't necessarily want to know how they're going to get there.
In terms of that journey, though, I almost feel as if you're disappointed at the fact that you're familiar with it.
Yeah, I think that is true. I think that wine to me is such a world of wonder. Even if I had a wine 100 times, I'm constantly delighted by drinking great wine repeatedly and finding different things in it, which I think means that it's matching me more than I'm matching the wine. Here, I'm coming to this, and it's saying this is who I am, whereas to me, the Dutrève was coming to me and saying, well, I know who you are, so let me improve that. So it's sort of the guest host versus the host guest.
I love it.
Relationships.
Isn't that what wine is always about? That little dance. Do you feel like you're being led or are you leading?
Totally. And there are wines where you go to somebody's house and you give it to them and it's a good choice for a gift.
Yeah.
As opposed to, as a host, a wine that you serve people is a completely different thing.
So would you serve this or would you give it as a gift?
I would give it because it's more about what it is giving to me.
Yeah.
As opposed to the Dutrève, when people walked into my home, it says, what I'm interested in is you.